really big in our area because, of course, Texas feels such a part of the space program. And Mr. Kaufman, as the director of this motion picture, I'll ask you the first question. First of all, just for the record, what did it cost?
I think it's around between $25 and $27 million now.
Okay, we hear all the way from 20 to 27. The other thing, of course, is that so much attention is being given to the movie because of John Glenn's candidacy, which, of course, when you were making the film, nobody had any idea it was going to be like that. So my question, Mr. Kaufman, is, does it upset you that all of this is kind of entering into the opening of the picture?
It's kind of fun in a way, in a strange way, because it's very much one of the subjects that's in the film, is how the press created a whole commotion around John Glenn. And it's almost duplicating some of the events in the movie. How even at the press conference in the movie back then, when he began speaking up, you can hear the press in the background saying, "That's Glenn, close in on him, forget about the others and move in on him." And even though maybe some of the emphasis in the movie could be said to be on Sam Shepard playing this gentleman right here, Newsweek's cover, of course, doesn't have Sam Shepard on it. It's got Ed Harris playing John Glenn.
Then how are you reacting to the comments which Mr. Glenn apparently has made? He calls it Laurel and Hardy into space, and he says that he's been portrayed as a prudish Presbyterian.
Well, I don't think he's saying that anymore. I think he had read an earlier script, apparently. I'm not sure it was mine. There was a prior script from that, and he certainly was looking at Tom Wolfe's book. I'm just... people are saying, is this going to be good for him or bad for him? I certainly think that the character Ed Harris plays is a wonderful character with both sides painted, but it certainly revives the heroism. John Glenn did a very heroic thing in that time. The interesting thing, I think, is going to be how John Glenn responds to the movie. I think that's something he should be thinking about, because I think it's going to be interesting. I think people are going to come away with a very strong impression of John Glenn from the Ed Harris portrayal of him in the movie.
General Yeager, to get you into this conversation, how are you feeling? What are your feelings about the film in general? Do you like it? Are you unhappy with some of it and happy with other things in it?
I liked it, the whole thing, because, having been involved in a lot of early work that the film portrays, it's very accurate, and it sort of brought back a lot of the memories and emotions that I had back in 1947 through the 60s. I enjoyed it.
What about the way that breaking the sound barrier is portrayed on film? Was it really like that?
Well, not exactly, but if you took one of our technical reports, you couldn't sell it for peanuts, so let's face it, it does, simulate buffeting and a lot of shaking that we went through in the X-1, and the tension of building up towards the speed of sound, because we didn't know what we were getting into, really, and it had been predicted that the airplane would either pitch up or pitch down or disintegrate, and we were a little apprehensive about the outcome, and that's the way Phil portrays it in the movie. And I got nothing but praise for the special effects guys in this film. It was fabulous, the way the thing comes across on that big screen. And of course, it's flowered up a little bit, but that's the way it has to be.
Another question, General Yeager, and I hope you won't mind my asking this. Here you've had so many close calls throughout your whole life. It's been one of high risk and, of course, I'm sure high thrills. But do you ever stop to think about, eventually how you will leave this world? I was thinking it could be something ironic, like stepping into a manhole or something.
Right. I look at the end of my life the way I did it in research flying. You don't give an awful lot of thought to it because you can't do much about it anyway.
So you just don't think about it?
No. No use to. Death and taxes. That's the way it is.
The attention that is being attributed to John Glenn. Obviously, you knew Glenn, didn't you?
Yeah, I knew. See, most of the 7 astronauts were test pilots, and of my era and about my age bracket, and in watching the movie, and the thing is, the movie is about John Glenn, the astronaut, and basically people are going to vote or not vote for John Glenn based upon his performance as a politician, because he's not an astronaut anymore, he's a politician. And I give people credit for having a little more intelligence and letting a film where he portrays an astronaut, and America couldn't have picked a better guy to orbit, because John really had tremendous image. And he was do-gooder, but that got him in trouble with the rest of the astronauts. But I think really, as Phil says, how John reacts to the film probably will make more difference in people's minds and opinions of him than it will saying nothing or saying a lot. So.
And we'll all have to wait to see how that turns out. Gentlemen, thank you very, very much. And Mr. Kaufman, come Academy Award time, I'm going to look for some awards for the right stuff.
Thanks.
Okay. Now, are you upset that all this attention about John Glenn is coming out in reference to the movie? Some of the things John Glenn has been saying about Laurel and Hardy in space and it making him sound like a Presbyterian prude. Do you get angry when you read or hear those things? Okay. General Yeager, what do you think about the movie?
General Yeager looked a little bit
all
more
right.
down.
Of course, we'll probably cut them separate. That's okay. Just don't get me too profile. Okay. General Yeager, what do you think about the movie? The way breaking the sound barrier is portrayed on the screen, is that really the way it happened? Do you ever think about the fact that you've lived this very high-risk life, how you might go out of this world, something crazy like stepping in a manhole or something? You mean you just don't think about it? Okay. All right, just reactions down. Oh, one more. How do you think the movie will affect John Glenn's candidacy? Okay, thank you. You've been very patient. Thank you, I appreciate it.